A profound moment recently completely reshaped my life. I lost my mother. She had always been an absolute beacon of inspiration, not only for me, but for many people. And she was my biggest cheerleader. I went through all the different process of grieving, and I did a lot of reflection. Someone came to me and they said, and they were trying to be supportive. They said, when I lost my parents, I felt like an orphan. And they were trying to sort of be funny, but it wasn't really funny. I didn't feel like an orphan ever because I came from a household that was filled with so much love and so much respect. But I did feel something way deep down in my gut, but it was hard to define. I really couldn't put my finger on it. Before my mom passed, I had been part of that sandwich generation, where a person is providing care to their elderly parents and to their own children. Researchers state that this generation are sandwiched between the needs of our children, our parents, and our workplaces, and we're growing in numbers. For me, this was a role that gave me purpose and a huge sense of fulfillment. It helped me to define myself where, let's face it, it's a world where labels seem important. With the loss of my mom, I did feel an unexpected shift along the timeline of my own life. It was like I had been catapulted forward quickly along that timeline. And the only term that I could come up with to describe this huge transformation was that I suddenly felt older. Now, is that the word that I was looking for? I don't feel old, and hey, I think I maintain a certain youthful vitality that defies traditional markers of age. I look after myself in so many ways. So I continued to dig a little deeper. And I admit that there had been quite a few times in my life where I'd been asked to share my age, and I always chose not to. And it's not because I'm embarrassed. I'm certainly not ashamed. And this day and age, it's easy to find out how old anyone is. The point is that I don't want to be defined by a number or what researchers call our chronological age. So I aspire for other people to see me as a unique individual. I'm hesitant because some people have their own preconceived idea of what a number means based on their own experiences and their own expectations. For me, I don't want to be put in a box in somebody else's brain because that box may not be a reflection of who I am authentically. I'd much rather someone look at me and accept me for me. According to Concept Therapy by Thurman Fleet, thoughts are energy and thoughts are powerful. A number can never define us. Our character is what defines us. I vulnerably share with you that the loss of my mom triggered a whole range of emotions that made me question the whole concept of aging because it forced me to reevaluate a lot of things in the larger picture of life. I gained some insights that I want to share with you all today. There is an alternative way of thinking about aging, and I have to say, it's a lot more positive. I sought this out because, you know what, the current definition and the current experience are not resonating with me. Keep in mind that never before have we had so many resources to maintain our health and our vitality throughout all stages of life, including books, recipes, wellness coaches. The internet is littered with titles and blogs showing us how to live our best life. Many people are living now well into their hundreds. In fact, the prevalence of those living into their hundreds has been increasing, and in the past 20 years, the rate has nearly doubled. So whether your goals that you've set for yourself, no matter what, you're going to be aging as you strive to achieve those goals. And we're all here today to embrace the present moment and to harness the huge potential of tomorrow. There's no better way to do that than by exploring what it means to grow and age in these new times that we're living in. With this exploration comes a shift in our thinking, or what researchers call a shift in the value that we place on aging. So let's start with the current definition of the word ageism. The World Health Organization defines it as a form of discrimination, stereotypes, or prejudice based on a person's age. It involves negative stereotypes and unfair treatment. It can affect people of all ages and all age groups, but it does include categorizing older adults, labeling them as less capable, less valuable, or less relevant than their younger counterparts. There are many different reasons for ageism in our society, and one of them is our obsession with youth. Look at the multi-billion-dollar anti-aging industry. Have you ever had an experience of ageism? I certainly have, but you know what? I really never realized it at the time. When I look back on my career, I can recall many, many moments where I was the subject of ageism, and you know what? It really didn't feel good. I'll share with you just one incident that I had with a photographer that I knew, I socialized with, and I had worked with many times. This person had recently discovered my age, and they bluntly expressed, "Oh my goodness, I had no idea how old you were. I thought you were one of us." Now, right? That comment really affected me, and it provoked me to think just how much of it is based on the current definition of ageism. I really don't think it was intentional. In fact, I think they were kind of trying to pay me some kind of a compliment for looking good for my age, whatever that means. My guess is that she was looking at my physiological age and it didn't align with her concept of chronological age. So, does that mean that we don't look good when we age? Or as we age? And who the heck is it that's determining these standards? And how can we collectively feel better about aging? The answers to these questions are super complicated, obviously, but the effect is very real. And I know that at this very moment, there may be countless people out there feeling bad about themselves because of ageism. And according to the UN, that can put them at a huge disadvantage altogether. So without even knowing it, I started to challenge the conventional thinking of ageism as based on a number or physical appearance. And now I've embraced the whole idea that age is just an irrelevant number. Instead, I propose that we should measure our lives by our character, our gestures, our energy, how we feel, and how we interact with other people. Something that Greenstein and Holland call a more positive outlook on aging. We need to embrace the fullness of our journey in life at every single age, and we need to support one another to do the same. I propose that we get rid of all the labels or numbers as metrics that define us. It's vital that we recognize the inner vitality of every single individual that we meet and appreciate efforts made to impact one another positively. We all know that human beings are made up of emotions and energy, and we have to honor and prioritize the profound influence that we do have on one another. Our focus should be on cultivating a spirit of generosity and fostering genuine, meaningful connections. Another thing that's really important, that's often overlooked, is the art of conversation. It's such an important part of human interaction, yet in this day of Instagrammable sound bites, we often overlook the whole significance of the art of conversation. All it truly takes to inspire someone is to engage with them, ask them questions, and then actively listen to hear the answers. Listening can be such a powerful act because it conveys to someone that they're valued and that they matter. And that's a universal desire that transcends age. It doesn't matter if you're 5 or 55 or 105. Every single person wants to feel valued. Now, I know it's hard sometimes. Accepting people's differing opinions can certainly be challenging. And sometimes we can be very quick to judge other people. But you know what? We're also very quick to judge ourselves. Finding self-love can be perhaps the most important thing that you ever do. After all, you're the only person that you're going to go through your whole life with. They say, you're as old as you feel, so it's important to feel good. Or I should say, it's important to feel great. As an individual, you are the only one that's going to take control of your own attitude. A lot of people turn to self-help and wellness books to try and support themselves, which is fantastic. And, I admit I've studied quite a bit myself. And there's a pretty broad theme that keeps emerging. Essentially, it boils down to some key principles. Eat well, sleep well, exercise, avoid harmful habits, maintain oral hygiene, floss your teeth for goodness sakes, stay hydrated, stimulate the mind, cultivate your hobbies, foster friendships. Additionally, there's other practices like meditation, affirmations, positivity, skill development, life planning, goal setting, and tracking your progress. My advice to you is to find whatever works for you. Try different things, and try any or all of them because they will contribute to a huge sense of accomplishment. We can be the only ones quite often, I'm sure you admit, to stand in our own way. And it's usually because of two things. It's either lack of confidence or because of procrastination. So my question to you is, what's holding you back? Can you forge those important connections with others? Can you move forward in finding your own happiness? And my resounding answer is yes, of course you can. It sounds so simple, but you have to commit. It has been my experience that life does get better as we grow older, and research does confirm a few things. You can have less concerns about external judgments, which is really nice. You care less what people think. Genuine connections become a huge priority. We have a much better understanding of our own abilities, and some of us use that to help other people. We recognize how fleeting life can be, and we choose to actually cherish it instead of taking it for granted. Aging is a journey filled with valuable experience and the accumulation of wisdom. It's an opportunity to gain insight and life lessons that can be shared with everyone, including the younger generations. Aging can present new opportunities for new beginnings, new personal growth, new hobbies, new interests, new career paths, and new learning. As we grow and invest in ourselves, it can be a great time to prioritize one's optimal health and optimal well-being in order to enjoy a high quality of life. It's a great opportunity for self-discovery and self-acceptance. It's a time when individuals may become more comfortable with who they are, accepting their own strengths and their own imperfections. It can be a time to forge a renewed sense of purpose. It's an incredible time to step into a role as a mentor or a role model and pass down your knowledge and your values. And you can do that by leaving a legacy through contributions to society like philanthropy or volunteer work or creative endeavors, or just even as simple as valuing the connections that you've already built. My challenge to you is to weave these principles into your own life goals at every single age. I challenge you to really think about this. Who do you want to be as you go through all the stages of your life? I challenge you to strive to be the best version of yourself and strive to be happy, Don't make your goals to be successful or youthful. Instead, make your goal to be happy and helpful and add value. And it sounds super cheesy, I know, but be the person that you want to be. And that's what's going to bring you happiness, and that's what's going to elevate the people around you. Remember, time absolutely flies by. We all know that. You never get a day back, so make it count. There's certain things that never grow old. Love, patience, kindness, gratitude, joy, inner peace, wisdom. I leave you with this. If aging is a measure of time, then when you're in the present moment, you are ageless.